Hey everyone, we are sitting here in Chem in Poland and we will in a second take the train to Kyiv from here. The reason I'm going to Kyiv is to find out how the EU money that I negotiated, the EU-Ukraine facility, 50 billion euros, is being spent and if it's actually helping. So come with me on the train to Kyiv. So we just arrived here in Kyiv on the train station and now we will make our way to the hotel to start our discussions with the different people.
I think that having such a tool can help exposing corruption, but also can help exposing flow of dirty money from authoritarian regimes. So the more transparency you have about how political parties are being financed and about how the state spends the state money, the more power your citizens have and the more tools you have to protect your democracy from external influence.
So we are on the so-called Independence Maidan, the very place of dramatic events of 2004 and 2014. The last date is a date of so-called Revolution of Dignity. Everything started right here, around this column when students met for the first time to promote association agreement with European Union. And then they were attacked by riot police. Around a million people gathered on the square and surrounding streets. So-called Revolution of Dignity started, and here it was ended after a dramatic attack of riot police in February 2014, mass murder of around 100 people here on this square, and then former President Yanukovych flew and democratic regime was established in Ukraine and free elections were arranged. So that was the start of Russian aggression, not in 2022, but 10 years ago in 2014, after Revolution of Dignity, after Ukrainian unrest for democratic elections, for democratic development and for European choice, for European integration. That is why Revolution of Dignity is also called Euromaidan.
I were to propose one thing that a new European Parliament should do, that would be considering developing at least one scenario how Europe can support defense of Ukraine and the European security against Russia, independent of how other G7 countries and supporters of Ukraine do.
I want you to also understand what a frozen conflict really means. It means what currently is happening, which is that Russia is continuing to attack Ukrainian soldiers, Ukrainian civilians in their cities, in their beds, at their homes, with air missiles and with grenades and with everything they have. And at the same time, Ukraine doesn't actually have enough weapons to defend themselves, which means a lot of people are suffering, are dying. We saw a lot of war veterans already. There's constantly funerals here because people are dying. And we cannot forget that what we call a frozen conflict is actually a massacre of a lot of young men at the moment. So let's please be aware of that. Let's understand that this is a country that is defending itself against a dictator that has gone completely crazy and that wants to have all of Europe under his control. We talked to economics professors to understand the economic situation from a broader point of view. How much deficit can the Ukrainian government incur before defaulting? I try to come to Ukraine regularly to understand a bit what the situation feels like here. The first time I came after the war, I wanted to see how close it was from Berlin to actually get to Kyiv. And now, when I came back for work, once to understand a bit better what to ask for in the Ukraine facilities, so in the 50 billion euros that the EU is transferring to Ukraine over the time and that I have been negotiating. And now also to see how the money is spent, but also to understand again, what is Ukraine currently dealing with? What are the issues that people are facing here, to have conversations with normal people on the street, to feel a bit how they feel about the war. So for me, this is a super interesting visit, and I really hope that I could also show you a bit of this side of what's currently going on in Europe and what will be defining for our next 5 years also in the European Parliament and the European Union. If Ukraine is fighting this fight, we also need to support it with all we can. And we need to wake up at Europe and not say, oh, look how much we already did, but we need to look at what's actually needed to win this war. So if you take anything from this whole trip of 2 days now, which I think maybe can help you a bit understand how close Ukraine is also from us, just a train ride away, take with you that this is not a distant fight. It's not a random thing somewhere far out in the world. It's actually someone defending us against a dictator that is trying to take land from their rightful people. So let's wake up, let's understand that we can do much more, we can give more money, we can give more arms, but we have to wake up to the reality of what the current situation here looks like. When it comes to the economy, which is currently severely lacking because of the attacks, when it comes to the budget, which has a huge deficit, when it comes to the arms, as I said, which are really missing here right now, and when it comes to also the moral support and the political support that Ukraine needs at this very important moment. So thanks again for coming on this journey with me. I hope it was as insightful for you as it was for me. And let's make sure that Ukraine can win this war. Slava Ukraini.